Yeah, another thing that I would tell people thinking about their craft and their woodworking, and this applies to any craft, any handcraft. You could be doing pottery or stained glass or textiles or weaving, basket weaving. It's very common in the craft community, unfortunately, that there's a lot of critics. And especially if you're plugged in on the online community and you're brave enough to put your work out there, you will get flooded with criticism. And a lot of times that criticism comes from people with no profile picture and no recent posts on their profile. And they have lots of opinions. And it's often backed up with some sort of self-proclaimed authority, like, I've been doing this for 30 years. But the reality is your experience in the craft is your experience. And especially if you do your craft full time, your experience level moves at an exponential pace compared to somebody doing it as a hobbyist. And so I don't care what hobbyist it is, if they build one piece of furniture a month, that would be a lot for a hobbyist. And one piece of furniture a month does not even hold a candle to a full-time furniture maker by any stretch of the imagination. So the more pieces you do, the more experience you have, and don't discount that for yourself. Dovetails, there can be somebody that has cut perfect dovetails in the past, but it does not compare to somebody that cuts dovetails every single week and learns the ins and outs and why their saw behaves the way it does and why different woods respond the way they do. And so seek out people that actually have that level of experience and seek their criticism. It's often like, I have 30 years of experience is a total bullcrap response. As soon as I hear that, I just totally block out that individual's, they've negated their authority because years of experience has nothing to do with it. How many pieces of furniture have you made? So last year alone, we made 54 substantial pieces of furniture in this small shop. That in and of itself is a greater experience than a hobbyist making one piece a month, or maybe they haven't made a piece for 6 years. It's very common. So don't let the naysayers discourage you. Remember that everyday experience is more experience than somebody that's simply been exposed to the community for a long time. And also remember that a lot of picture perfect shops never produce anything. There's a lot of guys out there with disposable income that buy lots of fancy tools and have fancy workspace. And obviously I believe in a beautiful workspace, but even a beautiful workspace does not mean that it's productive. And so don't get discouraged by people with all the Festool and all the Lee Nielsen and Veritas tools and all the fancy gadgets and the saw stops. You don't need any of that to make beautiful pieces of furniture. If you think about the joiners in the 17th century that were making absolutely gorgeous pieces of furniture, all their tools fit in a little wooden box. And that's how you can start. And growing up in Appalachia and not having a lot of money and going to flea markets and buying tools and fixing them up and having to make my own handle to put on a chisel that I found in the bottom of a box lot at an auction, like that's experience. And there is none of your chisels need to match. None of the brands need to be the same. None of the woods need to color coordinate in order for you to make a beautiful piece of furniture. And so don't let the tool enthusiast community intimidate you from making beautiful works of art, because it's about you and about making, not about an image that you're trying to uphold.